the holiday. I wish you were coming to Portugal with us, sighed Poppy. Me too, replied Honey. Mum says the sea will be really warm and we'll eat lots of seafood, Poppy said. Ooh, I'm glad I'm not coming then. Seafood's gross, giggled Honey. After the plane landed, Poppy and her family collected their suitcases, piled them into the hire car and set off for the seaside. When will we be there? Whined Poppy impatiently. Any minute now, said Dad, I promise. The car rounded a sharp bend to reveal a pretty seaside town. Dad drove through the narrow cobbled streets towards the harbour and parked outside the guest house. We're here, he announced. Wow, gasped Poppy. It's amazing. The next morning they went to explore. It was so different to Honeypot Hill. The air was warm and salty and there were lots of unusual shops and cafes. Can we go to the ice cream parlour? Asked Poppy. We only just had breakfast and we're on our way to the beach, laughed Mum. We'll go another time, I promise. On the beach, Poppy soon got bored. Mummy was trying to keep the twins in check and Dad had his nose buried in a book. If only Honey was here, she thought. But then she noticed a girl about her age, so she went to see if she wanted to play. The girl's name was Clara, and even though she only spoke a little English and Poppy didn't speak any Dutch, they became soon firm friends. For the rest of the holiday, Poppy and Clara had such fun together. They swam in the sea, built a spectacular sandcastles and practiced their Portuguese. They were even allowed to explore the seafront as long as they promised to keep the dolphin fountain in sight. On market day, Mum and Dad took Poppy and the twins into town. The central square was packed with colourful stores and crowds of people. Wow, exclaimed Poppy. There are so many lovely things. The twins were hungry, so Mum and Dad went to buy them a snack. The queue was huge and Poppy didn't want to wait. Please may I look at some other stores, she asked. Only if you promise to keep us in sight, agreed Mum. I promise, smiled Poppy. On her way to a jewellery store, she spotted a very bored-looking Clara. Clara waved, muttered something to her parents, who were also in the queue, and then ran over to join Poppy. I'm going to buy this necklace for my best friend, Honey, announced Poppy. Clara bought one for her best friend too. The girls whirled around the market looking at the wonderful things, but soon they felt rather hot. Ice cream, suggested Clara. Oh, yes, replied Poppy. I saw an ice cream parlour on the first day I was here. It was next to the church, to the white church. Clara smiled and pointed to the church tower. Quite forgetting her promise to her mum, Poppy led the way, keeping the church bell's tower in sight. They skipped down an alley, raced up a side street, turned right and left, and then there was a church. Back at the market, Poppy and Clara's mum had realised the girls were missing. Frantic with worry, they searched high and low, but there was no sign of them. The girls had vanished. Meanwhile, Poppy and Clara walked round the outside of the church. There was no ice cream parlour. What are we going to do? Poppy had a horrible squirmy feeling in her tummy. She knew they were lost and it was all her fault. Back to the market, said Clara, trying to sound brave. They walked this way and that way, but all the streets looked the same, and they kept ending up back at the church. They couldn't even ask for directions, as the locals spoke a different language to both of them. It was hopeless. They sat at the church steps, tears rolling down their cheeks. Then the church door opened. It was a lady who owned the guest house where Poppy was staying. Girls, what are you doing here all alone? We were trying to find the ice cream parlour by the white church, wailed Poppy, but it's not here. But there are many white churches, the lady said. We must get you back to your families. They will be worried. The market, she explained in broken English. As the girls were led through the maze of the narrow cobbled streets, Poppy's relief turned to worry. Mum and Dad would be so cross. They soon arrived at the market. Poppy's mum spotted them straight away. There you are, she cried. I've found you. Dad and Clara's parents were also close behind. Promise you won't do anything like that ever again, scolded Dad. I promise, sobbed Poppy. I'm really, really sorry. Me too, added Clara. For the rest of the holiday, Poppy and Clara were on their best behaviour. So on their last day, Mum decided that they deserved a treat. They walked into town, past the white church, into a ice cream parlour. Thank you, beamed Poppy. I didn't think we'd come here. Well, I did promise I'd bring you, smiled Mum. Back home in Honeypot Hill, Dad was helping Poppy stick her holiday photographs in the album. I'm sorry, Dad. I wandered off at the market, said Poppy. We make rules to keep you safe, Dad replied, not to spoil your fun. I know, Poppy admitted. I promise I won't do it again, but at least I got an ice cream at the end. The end.